Okay, so here's the deal. It's been a long time since I've played a Pokemon game. Like, the last one I played was Pokemon Crystal on the Game Boy. 2 weeks ago, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out. It's now 2022. Times are changing, and the way you level up your Pokemon is also changing. Over the past few weeks, I've played countless hours of this game to find the best way to level up your Pokemon. This video is going to focus on the best ways to level up your Pokemon in the early game. If your Pokemon are past level 40, then check out the late game guide I made. Now, it's been a bit since I've played a Pokemon game, and they've changed a ton of things since I last played. Some of them good, some of them not so good. One of the things that I think is amazing that they changed is the way the XP share system works. It's absolutely incredible. Gone are the days where I have a level 100 starter and a bunch of level 40s running around in my party, completely underleveled and getting absolutely demolished by everything they came in contact with. 12-year-old me would be proud of how balanced I've kept my party in the new game. One of the other things that has changed is the Let's Go feature. Now, with the push of a button, you can send out your Pokemon to auto battle for you and pick up items. This is absolutely incredible for gaining XP and something you should definitely be utilizing. Without further ado, let's get on to the strategies. One thing you will immediately notice after starting to play the game is that not all Pokemon are created equally. Some Pokemon will gain you hundreds of XP, while others gain you less than 10, and the difference is not always clear. Obviously, one of the main differences is the level of the Pokemon you're fighting. There is a ton of complicated math that goes into calculating. There is a ton of complicated math that goes into determining how much XP you gain from KOing an opposing Pokemon. Obviously, we're not going to get into that here, but one thing that is pretty obvious is that your level and the opposing Pokemon's level have a huge role in this. Lucky for us, someone created a list of all the Pokemon and how much XP they give you upon killing them. Now, one thing to note is that these XP values are not exact. It'll obviously depend on the level of your Pokemon at the time of killing them, and also the level of the Pokemon that you're fighting. But the ratios do remain the same. Using this list, we can create a sub-list of the absolute best Pokemon to battle against to gain XP quickly. And let me tell you, some of the results are quite shocking. As you would expect, most of the Pokemon you encounter early game really don't give you that much XP. This includes most of the bug-type Pokemon, along with a lot of the grass and flying starter Pokemon that you encounter on your beginning journey. If you're trying to level up as quickly as possible, you should avoid fighting these Pokemon as much as you can. Obviously, in the very early game, these Pokemon do provide a decent amount of XP and can be used. But after you gain your first couple levels, this is not the way to do it. The best way that I found to get to level 20 quickly is to battle as many trainers as you possibly can while on your way to the first two gyms. The first two gyms are both very easy and can be beaten with basically no problem, and as long as you fight enough trainers along the way and catch some new Pokemon while you're at it, you'll have no trouble beating these first two gyms. Now, by the time you finish your second gym, or maybe even a little bit after, you should be getting close to level 20. At this point, you should have some pretty decently strong Pokemon. During my first playthrough, I was very focused on exploring and catching new Pokemon and didn't do nearly as many battles as I should have, so I was probably slightly underleveled for this area and still had no problems. Now the third gym is where all the fun begins, or more specifically, the area right outside the town of the third gym. The town where the third gym is held is called Levincia. If you enter that town from the south and look directly east at the first Pokestop you come across, you'll see a small field. In this field are some of the most generous Pokemon you will come across in the early game. I am of course talking about Rotom, the Pokemon that inhabits your smartphone. No, really, I'm not making that up. The Pokemon that lives inside of your smartphone gives you an incredible amount of XP for the level that you are currently at. And one of the places that it spawns most frequently is right outside Levincia in this small field. Now, when I was leveling up early game, I was dumb enough to use the Let's Go feature to try and get all my XP. And I was still getting over 200 experience for most of them. Had I used my brain and actually entered the battle, I would have gotten a lot more than that and leveled up quite a bit faster. Unfortunately, there's also quite a few other Pokemon that spawn in this area that aren't nearly as lucrative. There are two ways that you can get around this. The first one, which is the most simple and the most reliable, is to eat a sandwich. If you didn't know, one of the main functions of this game is picnicking. I know, sounds absolutely ridiculous, but let me tell you, it has a huge impact on the game, especially when it comes to leveling. The best thing that you can do before entering this small area is make yourself a sandwich. and if you use at least some of the ingredients shown here, you will get an increased spawn of Rotom in this area. The effect of the sandwich will last 30 minutes, so make sure to use your time wisely. The other way, which is actually the one that I used, even though it's less reliable, is there's a chance that you'll see an outbreak of Rotom in this area. When this happened to me, Rotom was the only type of Pokemon that spawned in this area, and there were an absolute ton of them. It was the most insane amount of XP I'd seen up until this point in the game. I used this method to get my Pokemon from level 20 to level 37. This allowed my starter to fully evolve and learn a ton of useful moves. Admittedly, I was definitely over-leveled at this point, but I was so excited at the XP farming method I had found that I just couldn't stop myself. Now, if you're too lazy to make a sandwich and you don't find an outbreak, that's fine. The other Pokemon in the area aren't that terrible. They definitely won't give you as much as if you were just farming Rotoms, but still pretty decent. I guess not every Pokemon can be as perfect as the one that inhabits our smartphones. The introductions of XP Share and Picnicking and Let's Go have created so many new ways to interact with your Pokemon that I honestly think it's pretty amazing. I know some people scoff at the idea of leveling up all your Pokemon at once and want it to be as difficult and as grindy as the old days, but honestly, I think it makes the game more fun and more engaging for newer players. This method of leveling should easily get you past level 40. It should also allow you to be competitive in the next few gyms, as well as the Titans and Team Star battles. You shouldn't have any trouble for a while. At this point, you're ready for the advanced leveling methods. This will be the very next video, or maybe linked somewhere up here if I can figure out how to do it. Thanks for watching the beginner leveling guide. Happy leveling. Peace. Hey, I'm back again. I forgot to mention that I stream. If you want to watch any of my streams, stop by on Twitch. I'm on there way more regularly than I'm on YouTube, so if you enjoyed this, we do lots of fun things. Right now I'm playing through Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We're trying to beat the game. That's basically about it. I'm going to be completing the Pokédex as fast as possible. We'll probably be doing some other challenges in Pokemon Violet down the line, so be sure to check that out. I hope to see you there.
Ban climbing now? You guys are relentless. I'm gonna have to make a thing to where only one of these can be redeemed per 5-minute timer, so we can't just stack up redemptions. Someone should ban walking. Let's put a hard /J on that. Okay, moving. Okay, really? Hold up. Timeout.